What if you came into the church here early one morning only to find somebody in the main aisle here dancing wildly? Well, would you ask them to please stop? Would you run and tell Jim there's a crazy person in the church? Would you think it irreverent for someone to be acting in that way, dancing around, flailing their hands? Well, you can imagine what some people must have thought when King David danced in public before the Ark of the Covenant. David had just been anointed king, and he defeated the Jebusites who were in charge, who were the people occupying what will be Jerusalem. He secured Jerusalem as the capital of the kingdom, and then he brought the Ark of the Covenant into the city. In a sense, he brings God into the city of Jerusalem. The Ark, as you probably know, was said to have contained the tablets upon which were written the 10 Commandments that God had given to Moses on Mount Sinai. It was a very sacred piece of furniture. And in the past, when it was carried through the desert, when the Israelites were preparing to enter the Promised Land, it was protected, and the ordinary person was forbidden to even touch the Ark of the Covenant lest they die. Now King David is bringing it into the capital city. Jerusalem really will become Mount Zion, the place where God dwells. But as they're bringing it in, he is making merry. He is dancing before it, half-dressed. Now in some verses that were not given to us this morning, there's a woman who confronted David, and she saw this. And she basically told him that he was shameless to behave that way in front of women and in front of other people. But David responded to her by saying that it was God who chose him to be king, and therefore he would, quote, make merry before the Lord and even demean himself further in her eyes. So David, you know, wasn't the perfect person. He committed some serious sins as king of Israel, but he never shied away from expressing his joy and his belief in God. Wouldn't it be amazing if every Christian lived with the kind of joy and happiness that David had in his heart? I mean, if we truly appreciated that God has done so much for us and how his Son is in our very presence in this tabernacle, we would all be dancing in the aisles. But our reason tells us otherwise. Our reason tells us that there are standards of behavior that are reverent and respectful. And that may be a good thing, but even then, our reason should never overshadow our joy in the presence of the Lord. In the gospel, Jesus kind of reveals to us what the proper behavior is for those who believe in him. He tells the crowds that those who do the will of God are truly his mother and his brothers and his sisters. Therefore, we can express our joy and we can express our love of God by doing his will, by loving God, by loving our neighbor, by serving others. That's the true joy that should be lived each day by those who claim to know Christ.